Liverpool, huh? Sorry, lads. This one might call for a glass of red. A couple glasses of red. Welcome, everybody, to another Jackson Solo preview. I'm sorry you're stuck with me. I'm the only one here, but today we are going to go over West Ham versus Liverpool at Anfield today. So I'm recording this on the day that Liverpool will face West Ham with all the latest news. So let's start with the Liverpool team since they are the home side. Liverpool terrify me. They've proven my expectations of them. Where other members of my group, my co-hosts, believe that Liverpool would be the ones to drop off first, Liverpool have been the last to drop off. Where Chelsea and Man U have proven they can't continue, Liverpool have stayed up there. I leave that to a number of factors. I leave it to Salah being incredible, Jota coming into his own, Alexander-Arnold getting back into form, and Van Dijk coming back into this team. People don't understand how incredible Van Dijk is, and he single-handedly, with his return, played a key role in bringing Liverpool from struggling to even get top four last season amidst an injury crisis to back in the title race, right in the thick of it. So there's no doubt for me, while there's some injuries for Liverpool in this game, Thiago, Keita, the main squad's still there. This is not a weakened Liverpool team. So it's going to be Alisson in goal. My guess is Konate and Van Dijk at the back. Robertson and Alexander-Arnold, they're fullbacks as expected. Midfield's a little trickier. Fabinho, Henderson, and I think Elliott are sort of the three that are being thrown around, but there are other options, although with injuries to Thiago and Keita, they're limited. And front three, Mane, I don't think Mane's available, and I think Firmino is definitely out. Mane, I'm not sure about, but it's definitely going to be Salah and Diaz deserve to be in there, and I think Jota does as well. I think that is their best front three, despite how well Mane was at AFCON. I think that's their best three, and so I think that squad is deadly. I think this will be the best Liverpool. It is true, however, that while this is a great Liverpool team, we beat them last time out. In the first meeting of the season at the London Stadium, we beat them 3-2. That was our peak. When we were going through that vein of form, that was our peak, beating Liverpool. While beating Chelsea was nice, beating Liverpool showed just how well we were playing. I remember that game, fantastic game. But while Liverpool have only built on results since then, we've plummeted in form. While we did beat Wolves last time out, the West Ham team is quite injury-ridden, and I think that we are exhausted. We have no legs. I said that in our last one. So in our lineup, it's going to be Fabianski back in goal. He's incredible season in, season out. There's no reason to replace him at the moment with Areola, despite how good I think Areola is. And I think our fullback is our worst position. Both Fredericks and Soufal are out with injury, so we've only got two fullbacks, and both will be playing this game, Johnson and Cresswell. And Cresswell's been a mixed bag. While Masuaku is out injured, but he's been awful. Even Cresswell has really dropped off from the high of last season, where he was matching Soufal for assists. I think that's the fullback situation is alarming. At centre-back, I think it's going to be Zuma and Dawson. I have no reason to think neither won't play, and I would pick Dawson over Diop any day. Diop scares me. He hasn't developed into the leader that I thought he'd be when he first signed, and he's really declining. If Newcastle in the summer come in with a 40 million bid, they can have him. In the midfield, it's even worse, because while the media is pushing Soufal, Rice, it seems to be the one we go for every single time, no matter how tired they get. There are rumours that Soufal is injured and he might not be available for this game. In that scenario, we don't have many options. Noble and Krull are our best options in that position after Soufal, after Souček. But I think if Souček is gone, it should be Krull's chance to shine. After that, we're working with a couple other interesting sort of positions. So the main issue for the front line, after we deal with the midfield problems, is the situation with how we pick the three behind Antonio. So we've got Antonio up the front, and we've got a couple players in around him behind. Usually in the past, that's been Benrahma, Bowen, and Fornals. Fornals is doing alrighty. He had a really bad run of form, but he played really well in the Wolves game especially. Bowen is incredible. He can't leave, but Benrahma was dreadful against Southampton in the FA Cup. It's time he gets dropped. Lanzini has proven he's got what it takes. He gets in that team. And of course, Antonio up front, because we didn't make a January signing to back him up with anyone. As you can see, my lineup is all mayhem and all despair. There are positions all over the shop that are incredibly fragile. One more injury would devastate our squad. And the players that we do have are in and out of form. So I've got serious concerns. But about this game, I think that Liverpool are probably going to beat us here. And I think that it would be incredible if you can win this game. And it would really boost our momentum going into that round of 16 game against Sevilla, who are playing incredibly in La Liga. We need all we can get, all the confidence we can get for that game. Losing 4-0 to Liverpool at Anfield would gut the team. A team that's already in at bottom for morale. Moyes knows what's going on. He's trying to get messages to force the players into action, try and get them to reshape their mentality. But right now, the whole thing seems really average, and the fans are no better. The fans have been utterly toxic since the January transfer window, and I think that translates to the players. So while we are still in the top 6 and we can do it, I think our hopes for pushing a Europa League campaign this season are really dependent on how well we play in this Liverpool game. If this game guts our confidence with a 4-0 loss, we are in trouble. But if we can sneak it, even if it's a draw, even if we lose 2-1, we don't get smashed, we play decently, we push Liverpool, that's the kind of game that at the least we need to go into that Sevilla game with any level of confidence. I'm very concerned about this game. I wish we had had an easier game before the Sevilla, but destiny decides. So we will have to continue as is and hopefully snatch something in this game, but I don't see how it's going to happen. If we're going to play well in this game, it's going to be Zuma. Zuma has not been dribbled past by anyone this season. And while he was injured for a large part of the season, there were large parts of the season where he was incredible at either side of that injury. So I think he's going to be key defensively. If he has an incredible game, it's a start, because as what happened at Wolves, we can keep a clean sheet that way. Now, other players of note to look at on the Liverpool side, expect that front three to just potentially walk through our line if Zuma can't manage them. I feel that because of the threat that all three of them pose, Zuma won't be able to worry about all of them. He'll have to figure out which to pick, and then that leaves Dawson, a very slow Cresswell, and a Johnson that's maybe not ready for this yet to deal with the others. I'm very concerned. I think that this is a dangerous game for us. But if I had to give a final, on the West Ham side, let me just point out, if we do manage to get something, the West Ham players who could be involved is Bowen, of course, is always a shout to work well. Fornals actually has a great record against Liverpool. He's actually scored quite a few goals against Liverpool. He scored one of the goals in our 3-2 win earlier in the season, and I know he's scored goals in other games we've played against them. So it is absolutely worth remembering that Fornals has a good record in this game. But otherwise, Rice will put in a good performance because he always does. But those fullbacks and Dawson are concerning. I think our defense will lose us this game. So with that in mind, a final prediction from me is going to be a 3-1 loss, just as the Southampton game. Unfortunately, I'm quite pessimistic. I think that we need the summer. And I'm very sad to say we're not going to achieve any of our hopes in this part of the season. I think we probably, hopefully will stick a European place, that we can have another crack next season, but this season seems to be blown by our inability to handle the transfer market and get who we need. With that, thank you for joining me. Cheers to all of you. We're doing quite well here at the podcast, and I'll see you for more videos with the other lads soon. See ya.